7 seconds. We're live on this angle. We're live on
We're
this
live
angle.
on both, yes.
All right. I've always wanted
Camera
to do that.
1, camera 2.
So yesterday I was launching the Quarter Life Journal. And what that is, Rich, is my blog as a survival guide for people who are in their 20s and 30s who are looking for pretty much how-tos on anything wealth, health, travel, and parenting related, and a few other, essentials. But my story's on there. I mentioned to everybody that's been following that I was meeting you, and that today we're going to talk about, well, you tell us, what are we talking about?
Well, today what we're going to talk about is I went in for a car. And when I went in to see him at Jones for a car, I said that I want to pay with a card, and you said, wait a minute. You're paying with a card that's going to get you points, and you're going to maximize this, right? And I said, no. And I wasn't prepared to take any notes, but you blew my mind with, okay, you got to do it so you can get this, and that. And if I'm not mistaken, you said you were traveling pretty much on the same dime that you've been spending for the last year and a half?
Pretty much. So to fill in the gaps, the last 24 months, I've traveled more than I've traveled in the last 2 years, the last 10 years combined.
Wow.
I always thought traveling was supposed to be something that you reserve when you have lots of money, something that, you take your 2 weeks off and then you go. But recently, with the advent of social media and everything, you get to see these people living this fabulous lifestyle. And I was constantly wondering, how in the heck are they doing it? So I was at the point where I was about to refinance my mortgage, and when I went to refinance, my credit wasn't as strong as I thought it would be. And as much as I knew about credit at the time, I thought, well, this is strange. And then after doing a little bit of research, I learned that in my haste to no longer have debt, I got rid of a lot of cards. Some of them got rid of for me because I fell on some hard times or whatever. Long story short, I improved my credit and I only had one card left. With only one card, every time that I paid that bill, the balance, yes, would be reduced, but so it showed no history or no positive information on the report. So it was as if I wasn't using it. So naturally, my score wasn't where it needed to be, and it wasn't as good for my mortgage. So I started going online. I go on some websites, particularly one of my favorite websites is myfico.com, because that allowed me to see the credit score that the banks see.
Okay.
So right now, there's a little bit of confusion in the market. Because everyone in the past knew that there was one score to rule them all, right? And it's always been the FICO model. The challenge is that as of late, you have different versions within FICO, but more importantly, the three credit bureaus, Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, they've, among themselves, created a new scoring model known as the Vantage score. And why any of this is important is because there's now competition among score models, and that means my video was interrupted. Well, good thing yours wasn't, because we're going to definitely use that. We'll just keep going off of this. So with the score and the Vantage score being present, FICO, to compete, has now created different versions of itself. So those different versions, what that all translates into is, what information do you go off of, right? How do I know if I have good credit, bad credit, or what have you? From a consumer perspective, it's good news that there's competition among scores, because the old system was a little bit punitive. If you had a mistake on there, it would last 7 to 10 years before you could remove it. But the challenge now is that even as forgiving as the new scores might be, banks are still using the old model. So that's why I like myfico.com. So that's a great resource just to get to your score, which is something that we're going to talk about, and why this is all related to travel. The reason we bring this up for travel is I started researching, okay, now I need another credit card. I only have the one. So what credit card are we going to use? I don't want cash back, because the one credit card I own already has cash back, and it's probably one of the better cash back cards out there anyway. And I thought to myself, to me, the credit card game has always felt like school fundraisers. You sell hundreds of dollars worth of chocolate, and at the end you get an eraser. But it's a Mickey Mouse eraser. So you're all excited for your kid, and you as a parent, drive all around town, beg all your friends to please buy my kid a chocolate bar for my kid or whatever, all for an eraser.
Yeah.
And I'm saying eraser, it could have been a sticker or there's something ridiculous. And that's how I viewed these points and all this stuff in the past. Truthfully, it can be equated to that if you don't know how to use it. So I get online, I start looking up different credit card companies that are offering, the world, and I decide that I want to travel more, right? I want to see more things. And one credit card stood out to me. Doing intensive research, I decided to go with Southwest.
Okay.
My logic was that Southwest's airport, or hub rather, or one of their many hubs, is Baltimore. So when you're looking at traveling, you want to ask yourself, what destinations are important for you to go to frequently? Do you like international travel? Do you like domestic travel? Who's your closest airport? What airlines are hubbed out of there? If that's not a hub, what's the nearest hub? And all this plays a part in whose airline system you're going to pursue. So I chose Southwest out of Baltimore. Southwest boasts having no change fees, a reward system that's easy to understand, and I'll get more into that in a second, and flights that are so inexpensive, I could literally go on my day off and go to Miami for the day and fly back, and everybody thinks that I must be selling drugs because I just went for the day, and I'm like, no, I just used my points to go there. And it's no different than me driving 3 hours to the beach like some people like to go here in Ocean City, which is great for you. I prefer a little blue to my water. That's all. Maybe a little warmth too. So that's that. So I got the Southwest credit card. And the credit card comes with a bonus. At the time, when you spent $2,000 on the card, within 90 days, you earned 60,000 Southwest points. So what's a point worth? First question.
Correct.
Is this going to be a sticker, an eraser, analogous to the point system with them? Am I going to get these 60,000 points and play this availability game and, sorry, it's not available? Hang on. So I go online, I get all these reviews. Turns out each point is generally worth 1.5 cents.
Okay.
So doing the math on 60,000 points, that's roughly what? I think $750 worth of travel. Not bad for $2,000 worth of purchase that I'm probably going to do anyway. So my first goal was to understand I don't want to pay any interest. I hate credit card debt. I hate paying interest. So those $2,000 needed to be $2,000 I was going to spend anyway. So I made sure I found every single bill in the house and I paid it with that card first.
Okay.
Now, I got my 60,000 points. I took my girl to Miami for 1 day. She thought I was insane. I'm not paying for it.
Yeah.
Why do I care how long it's for? I only have a day off in the week. I work full time. I'm 70, 80 hours, whatever it is. I just want to go to the beach for the day and live the jet setter life, even if for one day. She says, you know what? I'm in. Let's go. So we did just that. We actually left, call it a day and a half. We left right after work on a Tuesday night, spent all of Wednesday there, and flew right back that Thursday morning.
Yeah.
Each of us spent 8,000 points. So that's 16,000 points off of the 60 that I had just earned.
Okay.
So I have plenty of points left to do this some more.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm hooked. I said, I've got to do this more. This was great. I didn't spend a dime getting to Miami, of all places, right? Now, there's a lot more exciting places to go, but you got to understand, I don't travel that often. So Miami was like, ooh, Miami, right? Now I'm like, where do I go to next? Let's go Tokyo, right? Or something weird, but still on the Southwest platform. And of course, they only do domestic flights in most of the Caribbean. So after that trip, I said, I want more. I want more of these points. So the card itself earns 1 point to the dollar for every swipe. So if I spend $100, that's 100 points. Easy math.
Okay.
You get 2 points to the dollar, and this is as of the time that I got the card, of course. These things can change and do, so you gotta pay attention to that. But you get 2 points to the dollar when you spend on Southwest flights and Southwest purchases through Southwest. So I said, okay, there's gotta be more to this, right? So I go online, do a little more research, and I find that there is. You can earn points not just with the credit card, which, let's be honest, not everyone's gonna want and not everyone can get, right? So how do I get it without the card? Shopping, through a shopping portal designed by the specific airline, which not just Southwest has, all major airlines do,
Okay.
in the US anyway, and with dining. So there's one company that provides a service to all the airlines where they have a network of restaurants that participate. Their point of sale, meaning the machine they use to swipe your credit card, is linked to this system. When any credit or debit card you have in your wallet is registered, it picks up that you're in this network and gives you miles or points for that respective airline that you have registered for. So,
Regardless of card.
regardless of card.
Okay.
So, for example, Southwest is rapidrewardsdining.com. Now, American Airlines, Delta, and all the others, they have it too, but I'll stick to Southwest just to keep it simple. You go to rapidrewardsdining.com, you create an account there, you register with your Southwest number. So the first step you want to do with every airline you think you're going to fly, even if you don't think you're going to fly, go do this because they're all free, is go create a free account at each one.
Okay.
They're going to assign you a frequent flyer number, Rapid Rewards number, whatever they call it.
Correct.
When you go to the Rapid Rewards Dining, you register, you get your wallet out, put every card you own in your wallet, and you register it to that system. Okay? Now, locally here, we're in the Bel Air area. There's Bureauteca, there's De La Rosa's, there's Plaza Mexico, all participating restaurants, right? What you do is you go with your card, you pay 3 points to every dollar you spend. That includes tip and any taxes or whatever. Use a Southwest credit card, and you're also getting 1 point to the dollar for that. So you're essentially getting 4 points to the dollar with that strategy. Guess what, Rich? I don't cook. I don't meal prep. I probably should. I'm going to. God willing, 2019, my year, right? New year, new me. Who's this? But in the meantime, I'm going to get miles while I eat out.
There you go.
I
Okay.
get lunch and dinner at these places practically every day at 4 points to the dollar. This is exciting. Now, what happens when you get your first credit card, Rich? Every single one of them starts sending you offers for more.
For more, correct.
So the credit card for Southwest is sponsored by Chase, or rather issued by Chase. Chase has a travel card that's universal. It's not airline specific. Although they have a Southwest card, they also have a United card. They have their Prime Fiesta Resistance Sapphire card.
Okay.
The Sapphire card is a card that earns rewards points, Chase rewards points. And those points are a currency, just like the Southwest airline points, right? That currency, what we do with that is we can either transfer it to specific airlines like Southwest or United who have a partnership and they have 13 or a total of 13, maybe 14 airlines that they're partnered with that you can transfer to direct. Or, even better, you have the flexibility of using those points to use their online travel agency, which is now, as of recent, as of late 2018, backed by Expedia.
Oh, wow.
So you go through the Chase website, go on their Expedia-powered travel agency, you search for your itinerary, and let's say you're going to Las Vegas or whatever, and you look at the cheapest flight, and it's Delta, who is not a participating Chase airline. Delta's teamed up with Amex, but they're still available through the Expedia site. Now I can use my Chase rewards points to purchase a Delta flight through the Chase portal.
Wow.
And if I don't have enough points because I just started, I'm just racking them up, whatever I don't have in points, Chase allows me to bridge the gap with cash, or rather the card itself to bridge that gap. And the Chase Sapphire card is broken down into 2 levels. The higher level earns 3 points to the dollar, the lower level earns 2. The 3 points to the dollar earns you 3 points to the dollar on travel and food.
Okay.
So I'm getting points for purchasing the same ticket that I'm using points to pay for.
Pay for it.
So
Okay,
I'm subsidizing the cost even further.
Correct.
So it's a cyclical system. So here's what I learned real fast. We're all overcharged anyway, because as a merchant, these guys raise up their fares or fees or whatever, or their cost of things, because they know they have to pay the credit card companies for the ease of use and the security involved in a transaction. It is up to you and me to get that money back via points, cash back, or whatever currency is important or of value to us.
Oh my gosh.
So And if you don't, you're just giving that money away.
Correct.
So now I have a Chase Sapphire card that earns 3 points to the dollar on food.
Uh-huh.
Link that to my Southwest Dining, and that's 3 points to the dollar, and I'm essentially now earning 6 points to the dollar instead of 4. Each
Wow.
point is a cent and a half. Spend $20 times 6. That's 120 points. Do the math every day at lunch, whatever. Right now I'm sitting on 118,000 points that I've amassed, and I've used over 100 in the last year alone, and that's just me doing purchases. And we're missing one key component here.
Okay.
I talked about shopping earlier.
Yes.
I just went to Best Buy. I made a big mistake. It was an impulse buy. I went and paid for it with my card. Now I did use a card that earns points, but why I say it's a mistake, the mistake lies where I should have gone online first and checked out the shopping portal for either Southwest or Chase or any of the others, because I'm linked up to all of them. I'm only using these two for reference.
Okay.
To see who's offering more points for shopping at Best Buy online. Retailers, all of them have the burden of filling quota and selling.
Yeah.
And they recognize that traffic is slow in the car business, it's the same thing, okay? So what happens when the retailer wants to incentivize is they offer a commission to online marketers or
Okay.
affiliates, okay? And they call it affiliate marketing, where they give them some kind of cash incentive, a small percentage of the transaction. Big companies figured out that if they can pool their resources and collect all those little bits of commission, they can get enough to share it back with the customer by way of points, cashback, or what have you.
Okay.
Enter the arena of companies like Ebates that
Yeah.
offers cash back. Enter the arena of Southwest, who offers it through their shopping portal, and every other airline in the game. So what happens? You go to a website like Southwest RapidRewardsShopping.com. You enter Best Buy, who I just went to right now. You search for your item. You add it to you click Best Buy through the Southwest. It opens up Best Buy, and there's a cookie placed in your browser that now Best Buy knows to pay the Southwest portal for generating business for them.
Okay.
And Southwest knows that it is you, Rich, or me, Jorge, that did the shopping. You finish your transaction as normal. Now, typically, I'll do same-day pickup because I can't wait for things.
Yeah.
And there's a store right down the street. Pay for it with a card that generates points also.
Okay.
Okay. Now, some retailers like Best Buy don't have a huge incentive, like it's not travel or whatever, for travel cards, but this might be a good time to use your cashback card. Or if you want to chase Southwest points, this is a great time to use your Southwest card. You get 1 point to the dollar on the Southwest card, plus whatever the shopping portal offered. Let's say it's a point as well. So that's 2 points to the dollar you just picked up on that Best Buy purchase.
Yeah.
Go pick up your item, and you're all set. Now you have points for something you were going to buy anyway. So I do that for Walmart, Target, Macy's, pretty much all the retailers that I frequent every single day. And instead of doing what I just did impulsively, I'll write things down on a pad. At home, I have everybody tell me what they need to buy, put it on a pad, search it online, shop for it online, get some points, and that's how you get to over 100,000 points. Some airlines have incentives, and I'll go right back to Southwest because we're in the Mid-Atlantic area. Southwest will give you what's called a companion pass.
Okay.
Companion pass is where when you earn 110,000 points or more in a given year,
Yes.
your companion, whoever you designate, is eligible to fly for free on any flight that you have a ticket for.
And that's 110,000.
110,000 points. If you did the credit card this year, it's January, and you earn 60,000 by doing the 2,000 spend, you're already halfway there on the 110. Okay? You have a business, you can get the business version of the same card, get another 60,000, guess what? You have 120,000. Now you've earned your spouse, significant other, or a friend a free travel pass for the rest of the year you earned it in, plus a full calendar year after. So if you got it now in January, you got the rest of 2019 plus all of 2020 flying for free with your partner.
Oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me.
Facts.
And that's family member,
Doesn't matter.
spouse,
Whoever you designate.
I designate. And you have to keep that throughout the whole year
You
and a
can
half.
change that person up to 3 times within each year. So you can essentially name 6 people if
Three
you got
for
it
this
right
year.
now, 3 from
Correct.
this year and 3 for next year.
Wow.
All on 110,000 points. That was 2 credit cards you got. Don't like that? Well, we can do it with 1 credit card, and you can do the shopping all year round and pay for it on that 1 card.
Yeah.
And now you've got a companion pass. And let's not forget, you earned the points. You have 120,000 points in that example I just gave.
Yeah.
That's yours to spend however you want as well, and you're not spending it on your partner because your partner flies for free
For free.
regardless of how you paid for your flight. So if I find a flight and pay for it with 120,000 points, I just flew for free on my points,
Correct.
and my partner I just add as a companion, and they fly for free. Now, there's a small fee that you pay. It's like a domestic flight, it's like $5.60 each way. That's for like taxes,
Yeah.
whatever. For $11.20 times
I
2,
think that's worth it.
I'm in.
Yeah.
So that's how I fly now. I do not pay for tickets. Okay. Now, sometimes you find a ticket that's well beyond what you have available in currency. That's fine too. But if you're doing this for business, if you're going to events, if you're going, whatever, you're charging your clients, I'm sure. You need to include your airfare. Now your
Yeah.
clients have paid for your ticket, and in the process, you're earning points for your personal travel.
Wow.
Take a vacation. So here's been my last 24 months. I went to Chile, Guatemala, the Dominican Republic twice, Puerto Rico twice, and took 6 people with me. Miami, a handful of times. Miami's so cheap and inexpensive, it's just great. I mean, what I save on the flight, I can now spend while going out there, which is
Okay.
phenomenal because I never, it's like, sure, hit me over the head with a $22 margarita. Okay, I don't even drink margaritas. That's fine. I have $22 to spare because I didn't pay for the flight ticket. So why not? So that's how all that works. So I've given you specific examples with those specific companies, but there are different airlines. So wherever you are in the world, you just have to figure out your airline's program well enough to understand it. So you have like American Airlines, Delta, and of course I'm naming the domestic airlines, but you also have international airlines that participate and are great to use because of their partnerships to each other.
Okay.
So, for example,
Is that where the Sapphire comes in?
the Sapphire is phenomenal for that. I'm glad you mentioned that because the Sapphire has some international airlines that participate as well.
Okay.
For example, this is not linked to Sapphire specifically, but like you have American Airlines is part of the One World Alliance.
Okay.
Delta is part of the Star Alliance. So Delta, Air France, and KLM are all under one relationship. United, no, I'm sorry. Delta's not Star. I think United is Star. Whatever. You can look them up. I'm not the expert on that. But if you have, say, a trip to Air Canada, right, and Air Canada flies from here to, say, Europe, or out of a local airport like New York to Europe, and you can use Air Canada, what are their miles called? Aeroplane points or whatever they're.
Mm-hmm.
You can literally transfer points from, say, United to Air Canada and vice versa.
Okay.
In a working relationship and dynamic. And sometimes, because one is having a better sales year than the other, the one that's having the worst year might have a lower cost in points than the cost of the fare in cash.
Wow.
So, for example, it's common to hear about people where a flight might typically take 120,000 points, maybe because of a blowout sale, it only takes 30,000 points. And you don't have that currency, but you have currency from an affiliated organization, so you just transfer it in right there and use that. Now, a word of caution, you got to read all the fine print, how that works, and blah, 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 but that's how intricate this goes. I mean, it's literally the rabbit hole. Like, you just, once you're in there, you got to figure out, the rest. But for me, I've stuck to the Southwest thing just because it's easier and the currency is easier to understand because it has a consistent, it's revenue based, so it's always a cent and a half. With other airlines, they're not as clear cut. So some of them you do have to understand how they work, and there are people out there that are masters, and I can put you in the right direction for all that. But I love Delta, so I did get their card as well. I think they have phenomenal service, and they've turned into my international airline. So those are the two that I use the most. That doesn't mean I fly Spirit often. I fly Spirit, who I used to think poor things of initially. I just didn't get their system. You just got to understand how they work. Yes, everything's for a cost, but if you add the pluses and it's still cheaper than another airline, they're not that bad. You just have to kind of really wrap your brain around, let me stop being frugal,
Yeah.
for better choice of the words, right? And let me see what it costs to add certain conveniences that are probably worth having. Like I'll always upgrade to like the bigger seat just because I'm a bigger guy and it's comfortable.
Yeah.
Right? I might only do short bursts, but dude, I went to Boston for $42 round trip on Spirit. And so now I have a working theory where I don't even use points for any flights that are less than 200 anyway. Because at the end of the day, to make a waste of points, I can throw $200 if I need to, right? And $42 round trip to go to Boston, I'm in. I can't get there in gas for $42.
That was $42 round trip.
Round trip.
42.
No. It was 42 round trip. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah.
Yeah, for $42, exactly. I'll throw that out.
Yeah. $42. So that's essentially the gist of the points and miles system. Specific questions I'm sure will come about, but I just wanted to give you guys like a pretty much a breakdown of what 3 ways you have to earn points. One huge missing component: bonuses.
Okay.
Chase, for example, has a competing system to Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, Google Pay. Theirs is called Chase Pay. They want to incentivize people to get comfortable using it. So if you have a Chase card, every now and again, they'll send you a notice saying, hey, you can use Chase Pay. And with Chase Pay, if you use it, say, 5 times in the month of December, which is the most recent promotion, you'll get 1,500 points. I'm in. Starbucks, which we're sitting in right now, uses Chase Pay. So you go on your phone. While you're here at the register, it creates a QR code. The register person scans it. That's 1. If you drink Starbucks every day, within the week, you've hit your 1,500 points.
Yeah.
Plus, if you're using the Sapphire card, Starbucks is food, so that's 3 points to the dollar for the purchase as well. So I just picked up 1,500 points, which can't go wrong with that. That's $4.50 worth of travel. Doesn't sound like a whole lot, but those things rack up, and it's mindless. You just put it at the back burner and just keep doing it, and it essentially racks up. Now, you got to do the math on where your purchases are in the year as well. So for me, food and travel are things that I do spend frequently on. But let's say you spend money on groceries. Maybe the Sapphire card isn't the card for you.
Yeah.
Maybe something like American Express's Gold card makes more sense for you because they give you 4 points to the dollar on grocery shopping. Or maybe you don't want one with the fee, right? Because there are fees. So let's talk about fees. Fees are something that you need to interpret as what's the return on investment to the fee.
Okay.
The Sapphire card, for example, the high level one, which is the one I own, is $450 a year. Holy, stop the tape, $450. That's a large amount.
That is a large amount from what I've seen.
Dude, I would never have spent $450 on anything before until I understood the breakdown. Immediately that $450 is billed to you. $300 of that is available as a credit with that card for travel.
Okay.
Which they loosely define. I was impressed to see when my Easy Pass, which I have linked to that card, was considered travel.
Okay.
I bought tickets on the Megabus, which is, if you're out of town, a charter bus that goes from here to New York. That was travel. I paid for an Uber and a Lyft. That was travel. Some municipalities now have parking meters that take cards.
Yeah.
That's travel.
Okay.
Go to a game or an event and you got to pay at the garage. The garage, travel. Airfare, travel. Cabs, travel. Go to New York City, hop on a train, travel. That's $300 I can use right away.
Nice.
So if you're already flying at least once in the year for $300, perfect, covered. Yeah. So that now essentially reduces the fee to $150 from $450, right?
Makes sense.
So what do we do with the rest, right? This car is so rich in benefits. They give you $100 towards global entry. What is global entry? It's a great cut-the-line service for what they call known travelers, meaning you travel frequently enough, you don't want to make the line every time for the same general questions, and what they do is they offer you the opportunity to expedite your re-entry into the U.S. when you travel internationally. So rather than make a formal line, you go to a kiosk, you put your handprint, it prints a receipt, and then you go to a shorter line to meet with an agent who does his job or her job and asks you the key questions to entering back in. Cuts your time in half.
Wow.
Which when you're traveling is essential. It also has a co-benefit of giving you immediately TSA Pre. TSA Pre is so that you go on the shorter line with domestic flights.
Yeah.
You don't have to take off your shoes or your belt, okay? Great service to have. So $100, the card covers that, and both those services are good for 5 years on that first $100.
Wow. You
So
got
now,
5 years on that.
5 years. So now your fee is cut back to $50. But wait, you also have your bonus sign up, which as of today, I think it's 50,000 points. That's the same as $750. So they just paid you in your first year to have the card. $750, $100, we're at $850.
Yeah.
And $300 that is a credit anyway. So really they paid you to use their card in the first year. The second year you won't have the global because you don't need it because you're good for 5 years, so that you're still back at 150. But here's where the 150 still makes sense. You get access to their priority pass lounges. So whatever airport you're in, if they have a priority lounge, they send you a separate card where you swipe in and you and a guest enter for free. Change the way I travel. I used to sit uncomfortable armrests, can't find a charger anywhere, the Wi-Fi sucks, want to use the bathroom, good luck, they're filthy. Now I go into a lounge, cleanest bathrooms, all you can drink booze if that's your thing, water for those fitness gurus, breakfast, lunch, depending on the time that you're in there, a nice, comfortable chair, free Wi-Fi, and most importantly, a place to charge my technology.
I'm getting excited to just start all of this because, you know, since I last talked to you, I was kind of like you. I wasn't traveling. I've traveled 4 times last year, which if I put that together, that's more than the last 6 years combined prior. And I already know that I have 4 more trips planned for this year, and it's just January. So now knowing that I can travel by the dime that I'm already paying bills on, if I do my homework and my research to find out which card would be the best one for me.
Right.
I already have the Southwest, so I'm going to lean into that one. But mixing all of that in to travel on the dime that I'm already paying and living on for free, I'm excited about that.
Buddy, you're collecting back what's yours, right? These fees are already built into the items you shop.
Yeah.
Right? If you ever notice that online stores are a little less expensive than the retailer, it's because those fees are built in, right? The retailer has to pay the overhead, the brick and mortars, right? Some of these cards, for example, I recently got a Discover card. That card has a rotating category strategy where every quarter something is 5% cash back, right? And I still use the cash back for travel, but everything Amazon for the last quarter of the year was 5% cash back. But you know what? They're not slick. Here's what I caught. I shop enough on Amazon where some items stay in my history, and I know what I paid for it 3 months prior.
Okay.
And I found it interesting that the price went up by exactly the 5% earnings that I had. So they're not slick, so it's already built in. But I want my money back, so let's do it. And then I went and found the same item elsewhere where it was still the same price.
Yeah.
So you have to catch on to the wave and figure it out. The word of caution is travel credit cards also have the highest interest rates. And they do that for the same reason we're talking about. They want you to get hooked. And if the statistic holds true that most Americans do not have even $1,000 saved up, and that the average household has anywhere from $6,000 to $10,000 in credit card debt, you must be careful with using credit cards as a strategy. You don't need a credit card to earn these strategies because remember you have the dining and the shopping portals.
Correct.
Okay, and there are cashback portals that also don't need credit cards. So I will only recommend the credit card strategy if you are responsible and intend to pay your bill every single month in its entirety. If you do not have the cash already there to pay it off, in fact, you should swipe the card and the minute the transaction posts, you should pay it. There's no limit to how often you can pay. All right, I usually consolidate and pay it all by the end of the week because I don't want to see that. Because at the end of the month, they will hit you with that 24% or however much they can legally charge you, and it'll negate any benefit in the points because the point is $1.50 and the interest is $10. who's winning in that scenario?
Correct.
Right? So the only way to win with the credit card strategy is if you pay that balance off. If you're not able to, if your income is not there, then you need to watch my other videos where we talk about how to make more income, and we'll figure that out. This is bottom of the totem pole. Income first, and then this stuff. And in the meantime, like I said, you can still shop and you can still dine and still get points to travel without the credit cards. Some airlines, like United, have released a debit card that earns miles as well. So if you're scared of the credit card, you can move over to the debit card strategy. So just got to throw that out there, because this doesn't work well if you owe on the cards, and that's scary. You won't even want to travel when they hit you with the 24%.
Well, that was the first thing I did after. That was the one thing that stood out, I should say, after I got through that first meeting with you. Got the car. We were so totally stoked that we got a new car, and that was great. But I took my Southwest card. I created the account. I put the app on my phone, and I knew how much I spent already. And I saw that it popped up, and right there it told me when the billing date was. And I did your strategy. I was like, you know what? I'm going to move the money over. I'm going to pay it off, and I paid it right off. So every month so far, which it's been 4 months, I have paid the entire bill off before they even sent me a bill, because I remembered what you said is if that goes into, collections, if you will, you're losing out. I was like, I have the money, and I only use that for what I have the money sitting in cash for, and I paid that off. And I was like, you know what? That strategy, I won't use the card on everything yet, because it's more of, if I can't afford to pay it with cash, I'm not putting it on the card just to say, hey, I'm going to do it, because I know that's going to be the downfall of the strategy.
There you go. So and that's the key. You just gotta treat the credit card like a debit card, right? Pay it off, balance your checkbook instantly, because it will add up. It will. But that's the key, brother. I have a few trips coming up. I'm excited to do those trips. Sometimes, you may not pay for the whole flight, especially if you're a family. So there are other strategies for families. I'm sure if people watching, when you have kids and what have you, if you're a husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend, or partnership, whatever, it's the 21st century, so whatever you're into, both parties should have a card, and their own card respectively. You don't have to get authorized signers. Authorized signers are cool and all. I'm reluctant to do that strategy. I don't like the idea of our credits being attached. Not for anything personal. It's not that I don't trust the other person.
Yeah.
It's, I don't want that if something happens on my account for it to affect theirs. In the event of an emergency, we have their account that we can use without it being compromised with anything that happened on mine, and vice versa.
Which makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
Our times can fall on anybody for any reason. My identity could be stolen, and now theirs is too. Not good. Whereas if we keep it separate, we have a better strategy. The other thing too is when you have a card, very often these guys will give you referral bonuses. So more points. So I'm going to tell Mrs. Reiser that she should get this card, and now I send her a link. I get, say, 10,000 points for referring her, and she gets her 60,000 points for signing up. We're in the same household. That's 70,000 we just picked up.
I got to do that. I haven't done that.
Yeah.
I got to do that.
And
right.
sometimes they turn off the referral, like Chase does that. Amex, I haven't seen them do that, so they're great. You can refer them all the time. But it's just a great system. And then your family members who are going to see you. All my friends ask me, "How are you doing this?" By the way, if you're watching this, let me refer you. I get you in, you refer your friend. That's your way to thank me. I'm good with that. Anyway, and if you don't, that's okay. Just watch my videos. But no, seriously, it's just a great way for you to earn points. I mean, I've gotten 3 or 4 people throughout the year. It's not many, but 3 or 4 at 10,000 a pop. That's 40,000 points.
Points, yeah, that adds up.
And at $1.50 each, what's the math on that? Right. So it's worth it. It's worth every angle of it. So you've got your bonuses, you got your referrals, you got your 2 parties, and that's how you handle it. Say a Southwest strategy. I earn the companion pass on my end, and my partner earns it on her, and now both our kids are our companions. So now a family of 4 is traveling the 2 heads on points and the kids on the companion pass.
Correct. Bless you.
Thank you. So you have a situation where you also have to manage your points the way you like any currency,
Yeah.
and ask yourself, where am I going? Where am I traveling? When you know where you're destined to want to go on your personal travels, it makes strategizing that much easier. Because once you get into this game, you're gonna go nuts. You're gonna go, oh man, but I can earn points on Southwest, but I can earn points on Delta. It doesn't matter, right? Right now, my strategy, I've already earned my companion pass for 2019. As of January 1st, I'm only using my Southwest card for everything, even
Okay.
if the others earn me more points. Because right now, the value of that companion pass far exceeds the value of anything else for me, because how frequently I travel and not having to pay for my partners makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So at that point, nothing else matters. So business purchases Southwest, personal purchases Southwest, but that's my strategy. Maybe you want to go to Tokyo. Delta takes you there. Well, then you need to do everything Delta at that point.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
get the most points on Delta, if that makes sense, right? Or maybe you use the Chase Sapphire and purchase it with whatever airline is going to be the cheapest to get you there. The loyalty to single airline cards doesn't always need to be the case either. Sometimes it does. I did get the Delta card because since I do like to travel internationally, I love that I get a free bag with them. I get priority boarding with them.
Okay.
And they give a companion certificate. It's not as generous as the companion pass at Southwest, but once a year I get a certificate where I can take whomever for the value of that certificate domestically. So every airline has its pros and cons. You just have to research it and make sense out of it. A lot of questions are going to pour in, so, you know.
Now, you said you have other videos, so if I'm not mistaken, you said Quarter Life?
Yeah, so I just started, so the videos haven't been posted, but they will be coming up. The Quarter Life Journal is the location on YouTube. There's a channel there. The Quarter Life Journal is also up on Facebook, and the QLJ is the name on Instagram.
Okay.
So the Quarter Life Journal YouTube, the Quarter Life Journal Facebook, the QLJ on Instagram.
Excellent.
You can find me there, and I'm going to be posting tons of videos. Actually, we're going to reverse the camera here, and I'm going to invite you to talk about your project, because everyone wants to know how to make more money, and there's tons of ways out there to make more money. Everyone also wants to know how to lose weight, and there's tons of ways to do that. And luckily, I have Rich Reiser here who does both. So when there's synergy, magical things happen. So
Yes, so true.
But yeah, so that's where you can find me, and you'll find all these other videos. So the Quarter Life Journal, once again, is a survival guide for your 20s and 30s. Doesn't matter what age you are. I'm sure the information in there will be of value to you, whether you're in your 40s or 50s. I just thought it important to narrow down the field of people who I was talking to, because I'm in my 30s, so it just makes sense that that audience might want to listen to me. Who knows? Maybe they don't. Maybe it's the 50-year-olds that do. But
Well, he's got the 40s right here.
there you go. So the Quarter Life Journal started from an idea that everyone always talks about a midlife crisis and people hitting a certain age and suddenly buying expensive things and fast cars and freaking out because they hit their midlife. But I found myself having a freak out session and falling into depression, gaining a significant amount of weight, hitting 313 pounds at my heaviest, and I hadn't even hit my 30s yet.
Yeah.
So I defined that as a quarter life. Can't recall where I saw that terminology, but I said that's a quarter life crisis is what that is. So I figured I'd journal about it, and I've recently started doing that, and I figured let's share it, because I know that when I read other people's stories, biographies, and books, it helped me jump out of that depression and do something about it. So my hope is that by me telling my story, someone will find some kind of benefit and value, and hopefully if they are depressed, can find the out in the tunnel and can travel now, because you know how to get free points. So
Exactly.
that's it.
Well, I appreciate your time, because I know for me, I want to go home. I'm going to rewatch this. I'm going to watch it with my wife, because when I left, my wife was looking at booking our vacation with the family in July.
Okay.
And we have a July trip that is going to be part family, part business. First half family, and we got to fly.
Okay.
We got to get down to Florida, so I know it's going to be expensive. And knowing that, hey, there's a strategy here, this is what I've been waiting for, so I can use this. And then we also have a cruise that we are considering booking in 2020, which gives me plenty of time.
Gotcha.
But that is going to be a pretty big cruise, and now I have plenty of time to make sure that if I can have this paid for, because I use your strategies on just living my life the right way,
Right.
as far as getting my money back.
Sure.
That's what I want to do. 'Cause
There you go.
it may be a suite. We might have to move up from a room to a suite.
There you go. And you can upgrade. And you just gave me some takeaway points that I want to leave you with before we shut this down. That just reminded me. If you are doing this for business, remember to keep your receipts because even if you use the points, those are write-offs. Just refer to your accountant because anything travel related, or rather business related that's travel, there are benefits in your taxes. You mentioned that you're booking in July. A couple of apps you want to be aware of. Hopper.
Okay.
And a website, google.com/flights. You want to use them both with their price searching features when you're that far out in advance. Make sure to leverage companies like Southwest's free cancellation policy, so it's okay to book now because you can always rebook with no issue and get a cheaper fare later if one should come up.
Okay.
If it's any other airline, you might want to wait for notification from an app like Hopper or Google's Flight because they're using data of old to let you know, hey, historically, this is very high for what it should be. And they'll tell you, hey, buy now. This is the way to go. So Hopper does that.
Okay.
And Google Flights will monitor it and say, hey, your flight went up, went down. Skyscanner is another one that'll let you know. But I like the first two the most just because they have notification protocols that can email you and let you know. So I just wanted to throw those apps out because they're very helpful.
Okay.
And the cool thing with Google Flights is it'll tell you, even if it takes more than one airline, to get the best possible
So
scenario.
they'll do all the traveling.
Yes.
Oh,
So they'll
wow.
tell you, hey, this is the best way to go is take Delta for the first flight and United for the second or whatever. And we didn't touch on it, but the final takeaway is know that these points can also be used to purchase hotels, and that's a strategy in and of itself. The points you want to use for hotels, because hotels have their own rewards programs. So this is why I recommend to some people to start with a general card like the Chase Sapphire or an American Express card, because those universal points can be used for hotels as well.
Okay.
Okay. And that's an important thing. But knowing where you spend your money on, if your existing card, sometimes some companies give you like a graph that says, hey, you spent this much this year and that was all groceries. And then you need to start looking at cards that benefit groceries, right? Or hey, most of your expenses were, shopping and stuff. So maybe you're a big shopper at like Macy's, so you need to get a Macy's card or whatever card. But tie it to what's important to you and what's going to benefit you the most. But I'm excited for your trip. I can't wait to see all the cool things you do. And don't forget, if you can't pay for the whole thing with it, you can always upgrade, like you said.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure you guys knew about those apps. So that's pretty much it. And one last website you can use is cashbackmonitor.com.
Okay.
It is a search engine that lets you know which of the many programs is offering the most in points or cashback for the specific store you're looking at. So for example, you type in Walmart and it'll tell you, hey, right now Southwest is offering 1 point to the dollar. Chase's rewards program is offering 3 points to the dollar. Guess who I'm going to go with? I'm going to go with
Correct.
Chase in that example. So those are things that you have at your discretion. So that's pretty much it.
I love it. This is not what I wanted as far as getting this in when I got the car, but I'm so glad that I did, because now this information is way beyond what I even thought possible.
That's
because
awesome.
the knowledge that you have, and you said at the beginning that you were not the expert. If this is not an expert, I don't know where it goes, because there's so much information that you lay down that I know I have to watch this again.
That's awesome.
Because I don't have my hands with a pen or a pad
There you go.
to take notes, but you definitely dropped a lot of knowledge bombs on me, and I look forward to rewatching it, putting some notes together, posting this video for everybody, and I'm going to let you know what kind of travel I'm going to get, because I love your little Miami trip idea.
Oh, buddy.
That right there, definitely take a trip to Miami,
Take pictures.
or wherever I can get on the cheap with what I'm already going. Sounds exciting as hell.
Do it. Enjoy
Sounds
the beaches.
exciting.
Send us some pictures. We want to see it on your Instagram. So I'm excited for
Exactly.
you, man.
All
That's
right.
awesome.
So thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
All right.
Appreciate it.